So let me say here first, right? I'm not trying to look down on anyone or call anyone stupid or right any idea like that. You know, I'm just trying to make us aware and that we should maintain the knowledge that we should practice what we call the five W's. You know, the who's, what, when, where, and why. Because these are the principles. These are the fundamental principles of thought. Okay, and this is something that I don't know from well, at least from my knowledge, from my um, street street awareness and dealing with different peoples. This is something that has been lost, and this is a it's so fundamental. This it's like gold, you know. I mean, gold is something that you would want to keep. You would want to. It's something that you know. It's priceless. It's something you know. It's like food, or breathing, water. You know, these are things that you need. You know, so I want to again speak on, um, or actually state first that these five W's that they refer to in school, right? The who, what, when, where, and why, right? This is actually the fundamental process of thought or thinking, okay? So it's very priceless, okay? And again, this is why if you understand or if you are aware, right, why the United States actually established a school system, okay? So if you know that this school system that they established, it was really just for, right, giving people enough information where they can do particular tasks, right, that these organizations needed to be done. You know, just workers, not managers, not thinkers, you know, just workers. Just knowing how to how to turn a machine off and on, or you know, sweep a floor. This is the basic thing. This is what you know. The reason why they established that. And when then you, I mean, you look at a simple thing. Well, it should be a simple thing. A noun, right? And this is how you know that these people, you know, are up to no good. When you know, go to schools right now. I mean, I'm 60 years old. I mean, I can remember. I mean, 40 years ago, whatever. You know, they were teaching the children in the schools, right, that a noun is a person, place, or thing. And they are still doing this. See? And that is not what a noun is or what nouns are. See? And all you got to do to verify this, right, is to go look up the etymology or the root language of a noun. So when you go to your dictionary, right, you go look up the etymology, which is always in the brackets, okay, and you see that it's a Latin word, and it means name, okay. So you with Noun, right, Name, right, different spellings, right, because different languages. See, you know, so you know they could have been, you could replace the word noun and put the word name there, but you just deal with two different languages. Noun, name, same thing. See, so understand a noun it's not a person, right? A noun is not a place. A noun is not a thing. See? A noun is the name of a person. See? It's a big difference. See? A noun is a name of a place. See? A noun is the name of that thing. What do you call that? See? That thing has a name. See? A person. I am not a noun, but the way you identify me, see, the way you identify me or distinguish me from other peoples or other things, see, that is the noun, and that is one of the ways, see, in which the noun is supposed to be used, or the name, see, is supposed to be used. So you would think, and this is in every grammar book. So you would think, why? Why would you take this information away from the children? Why would you? I mean, it's in every grammar book. I mean, as a teacher, I mean, why haven't you considered? I mean, it's been centuries. It's been centuries, literally, that this has been told to children. And then when you understand how a noun is like food, it's like water to the mind, to the thought process. See, if you don't see, you have to think, well, why were they taking this from the children? You know, because it's a thinking process. And it is the first step to every thought process, right? The noun, understanding, because we name things. If you are, because we're talking, right? We communicate with one another, right? By the process of words. We communicate with one another by writing words down in books and billboards and signs and what have you, on medicine bottles. You know, we communicate in words. So imagine, I mean, so it's fundamental principle, right, to know, you know, what a noun is. See? So if you are dysfunctional now because you don't fully grasp, right? You can't really grasp, well, how to use this. What is it now? How to use it. See, now you are lost in the academia. See, you are lost in any type of true, see, research. You are lost in the ability to decode, see, to decode any signs or symbols, any languages. You are lost from that. You see, you can only go so far. You will never be able to grasp the full idea of a symbol or a sign or a concept. See, because you don't have that fundamental skill of what a noun is. I mean, I cannot say I cannot say how important this is. I mean, you know, if words, if anything, see, understand, words are not just in letter form. A word is also, right, a color. A word is also an emotion. See, words are human expressions, but they're not just coming out of the mouth. See, we've been taught, we've been told that words are here. No, words are what you smell. All your five sensors, meaning your eyes, your nose, your ears, right, your mouth, your sense of touch, right? These are also words. Yeah, see? Now, I could have used a better example where I might not just have lost some of you. You know what I'm saying? Because, I know a lot of people say, wow, that's kind of far out there. I mean, I can't make the connection. Where are you going with this, brother? I can't make the connection of words and feelings and senses, And again, that's because of not understanding or having the knowledge, right, of what a noun is. A noun starts off everything when you are sharing the abilities that we have as humans, right, to connect with one another. See? And notice how I didn't distinguish any particular way in which we connect to one another. See? A noun, see, does that connection. If it be, me rubbing, like you massaging something, you come up to somebody, say, okay, it's gonna be okay, whatever, right? Or eye contact, or whatever. You singing a song, right? You're telling a joke, or whatever. I mean, you walking down the street, right? Summertime, pretty sister walking down the street. She has a nice, pretty yellow flower dress on, and it's just flowing in the wind, right? And she walked by you, and you can smell that. You can smell the sweetness. See, I'm saying, and you can see the sun shining and the birds, singing, and see, that's a noun. See, because you're a name, a word, right? A name, right? These are expressions of the mind. These are ideas. These are feelings. See the way I, describe that summer morning and the beautiful sister with the dress on. That is a feeling, but it is also an idea, right? It is, but it is in words. I use words to express that feeling, that warm feeling, right? That idea, that image. See, it's in words. See, so it's like the actual what it means to read. Read. What is reading? See, reading is not what they told us it is. Reading is just as I tell you, right? It means to be able to visualize anything. To be able to visualize anything, but with the ability to distinguish different things from one another. See? So that's how we give images, right? Again, here's the same example. Watch how I'm distinguishing things. So I said, it's like a summer day, right? And you see this beautiful sister walking down the street, and she has this, summer dress on, and it's yellow, and the colors got flowers on it, and it's like that light material, and she's walking, and it's just going with the wind, and and she passes by you, and you can smell the sweetness, and you can hear the birds singing, and everybody got shorts on, and it's like the air smells sweet. See, I just distinguish different things. right? I distinguish the sister from her dress, right? I show how the dress had, I distinguish the dress, right? I should show you how the dress had flowers on it. It was yellow, right? I distinguish, her from the trees and the birds. So I was able to point out different things. See? So that's what reading really is. See? It's being able to distinguish between the different signs, the different symbols, right? The different behavioral patterns of things. It's just reading, it's just knowing how to interpret different aspects, different ideas, different fundamentals, different whatever, just distinguishing between them, and then being able to articulate it. Being able to be able to create that image in your mind first. And then if you're sharing it with others or want to share it with others, then being able to do that as well. So it is my hope, right, that you realize that I'm sharing this information not for you to be an intellectual and to be able to regurgitate the meanings of words and have your chest all high and your nose up in the air. No. This is words. It's a natural thing. It's a part of our nature. Because it's coming out of the mouth. There will be no words. There will be no written words. See? Without the mouth. It would be a total different communicating system. See? There would be a total different communicating system without the mouth. Because if you don't have this, you don't have this. You know what I'm saying? This and this is connected. See? So there will be no phonics. Phonics meaning sound. There will be no written sound. See, words, written sound. See? There would be, because all you would have then is your nose. Well, how can you express the senses of the nose if you see? So then you would have to just rely on your ears. If you didn't have your ears or your mouth, then you would have to rely on your nose, right, your eyes, and your sense of touch. Can you imagine, right, how the way in which we communicate, how it would be different? We will still communicate because that is a natural process of humans. That with this big mama nature, the five senses, the five sensors, right? Sensors, the outer senses, the tools that we use on the outside. It will be, big mama nature gave us this to communicate with one another and with things outside of ourselves. Being able to touch, pick up a cup or something, being able to feel, I need to do this. I need to, see? Couldn't do that without that sense of touch. I couldn't formulate or form my fingers or my hands around this thing. I couldn't form my fingers to grasp this thing and to move it in certain patterns. So yes, so I'm saying all of that, right, to also so thought, right, the understand the nouns. Knowing what a noun is, it's very crucial. Now, so if a noun, right, is a name, right, of who. So when you say who, right, what are you saying? See, to fully utilize, right, the idea of who, you have to have a basis idea of the different types of who. You know, yeah. So when you say, like here's a good one. Oh, the white man did it. The white people, white, yeah. So the natural question, right? Is who are white people? Because see, that has to be asked, right? And see, because here's the thing. When you do ask that question and you answer it, see, because remember now, a question, right, is you asking and then you seeking, right, or answering it for yourself. You have to respond. You yourself have to go in and say, okay, how do I respond? How do I, react? How do I go about, gaining that information? See, that's one of the processes of answering. You have to develop a system on how to achieve that information. So if you have not done that, see, if you have not done that yourself, then whatever you have in your head, right, about who or what white people are, what is people? What is a white people? See, whatever you have in your head, then that didn't come from you, and you don't have no idea what that means. See, I would have said, a 9 out of 10, maybe, or the possibility that you might know, but the truth is, you don't, because you can't, because this is something that someone told you. This is something that you picked up, that you heard, down the time or whatever, and it's in the culture. You grew up, right, hearing people say this, and you've been saying it, so you just adopted it as being true, and whatever. You did not look into it. You did not question it. You just say, wow, what is that? Why do we say that? Why do we say white people? What is white? And are people white? Where does this term white come from? Are they white people? See, see? And you haven't done that. See, if you are using that phrase or whatever, and thinking that that's that. And some people use it, certain things today, because when they're dealing with or talking to other people that might not understand certain things, so they're trying to get a basic idea across, which is dangerous anyway, and you shouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't do that. If you do that, right, you must follow it up with, well, this is what it really means, okay? But I know people are using it like this, but actually, this is what it really means, right? And you should go and check it out for yourself. See? So you should never tell people, and that, hey, this is what it means, and leave it like that. No. Hey, you got to tell them also, well, or suggest to them, you should go and check this out for yourself, because I might be wrong, and it's just human nature. You got to go check it out for yourself. See? So, because you think about that, white people. So you're talking about who, right? So who did that? White people. Now you got to go in and say, well, see the word who, right? The word who is asking you, right, to point out, right, to distinguish, right, a particular group or a particular people, right, or an organization, or a nation. A group of people. It's asking you to distinguish, to identify. See, because when white people, so now you got to break that down. What do you mean, white people? See, well, because now you got to go and say, wait a second, there's no such thing as white people. People are not white. People are not black, right? So what you got to do, right? Because this is what who. Because remember now, who is a thinking process, and it is dealing with people. This is you are describing people. You are distinguishing people. You are talking about different groups of people. See, so who is telling you that you must be knowledgeable about people and the way that in which people are being described, the terminologies that are given to different groups of people. You must be aware of that. This is what who is telling you that you have to do. Who? So when you say white people, then you have to know where that term white came from in relationship to people. When you say black people, you have to be knowledgeable. You have to go and find, where did that come from? Why did people start referring to people with those titles? See, because then you start to realize, you start using different words. Oh, it's a title. I say, it's a political title, white. Because there's no white people, there's no black people. So say, okay, so when you go in and do the work, it's a title. White is a title. It's a political title. It's a title of status. Okay, So then you come back and say, that's what white people are. Some people is a people, whoever they are, right? A people, right? That have the status of white. White meaning, now check it out. White means, now you might have some, you might have already some information about white, like, purity and honest and just and, truthful and, level-headed, good and, open-minded and all that stuff, all those synonyms. But see, it also means, right, the original people. See, the original genetic people of the planet Earth. That's what white means, as well as all those other terms. It means the genetic original people of the planet Earth. So, wow. See? So, when you realize, say, hey, wait a second, we're not talking about a skin pigment here. We're not, see, because now, also, who, right? So, who is dealing with a person. One of the ideas of who, you're talking about a person, right? So what you also are doing, you're talking about the genetic person, right? If you are going to distinguish one person from another visually, see, then you call that a phenotype. See? It's a phenotype, meaning the genetic outer features. Okay? And that is not just your skin pigment. It's the ears, the nose, the lips, the hair texture, it's the eyes, the hands, the difference, the feet, it's everything, the hips, it's all of the outer physical body. It's the physical body that you see on the outside. That's what phenotype is. See, when I notice that when some people say phenotype, they just focusing on skin pigment. No, phenotype is not just talking about skin pigment. It's the outer features of a person. So, but also, right, because you're talking about a person, the person. So it's also the inner genetics, which they call genome. Okay, so it is, so the genome is the genes inside. Okay, because they're both genomes and phenotype, right? They're both referring to the genetics of a person. Okay, but the phenotype is just showing you that it's the distinction. Okay, the separation between others, right, on the outside. Okay, and here's the thing, because it's just genetics of a person, the inside and out. Well, the outside, it gives you, right, a good representation of the way in which things are going on in the inside of a person. That's very important. You're saying that the skin pigment of a person, right, it indicates to you what's going on genetically with the person. But that should not be the only thing you use. Okay? So understand that the skin pigment is not the sole thing about phenotype. It's the whole outer person. So again, see, this is the information that is in the word noun. It's all connected here. Because this is how they do it academically. This is the way. Listen, why am I sharing this with you? See, I study words, right? And I'm telling you, right, that the way they formulate these books, all these encyclopedias. I got encyclopedias and dictionaries and lexicons and thesauruses, synonym finders, antonym, we call it idioms and all that, different phrases, I got language, I got Old English dictionaries, modern English, Middle English, French, German, Italian, Spanish, and in different periods, the classical Latin, the biblical Latin. I got all them, whatever. I have it all, and I'm telling you that the way they put this information together, the way they structured it, right? You must know this. You must put these things together like this. You must know what a noun is. And you must associate a noun, right, with the basic concept of thinking, which is these 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, and why. See? Man. Because and how can I verify this? How can I prove to you that what I just said is true? This is their basic tool, a dictionary. A dictionary is the basic tool of all academia. Okay, this is the fundamental. Nothing is done in academia, in sciences, in literature, you know, and thinking. See, nothing is done without this foundation. This is the tool that they use. Everything is founded on this. So this right here, right? You crack it open. The first couple of pages where it tells you how to use the book. When you read and you go through this, it tells you, it verifies what I just said to you and what I am saying to you. So what does that mean? Well, if language, right, is the way in which we communicate with one another, for good or bad, right, to, you know, manipulate one another, right, to control one another, see, this is done through language, right, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in its written form, okay, but we are dealing here with a written form. So if that's the case, if that is the connection between peoples, okay, you know, if that is the connection between who lives in poverty, or and who lives, you know, the good life, you know what I'm saying, you know, if this is the tool that decides the social development or the psychological development, you know, whatever that which step you on, you know, or with people, then this is crucial to know. This is a must to know. You must know these words. See, you must have a working knowledge of words. You know, so, you know, I, like, people say, hey, you know, like when I tell people, again, see, the word native, again, it's a genetic word. It's dealing with genetics, because it means genes. Nature means genes. So when I hear people say, oh, we're not Native American Indians, you know, so-called black folk, so-called African Americans, we're not Native American Indians. You know, the Europeans are. You know, how do I know? Because it's in the law. See? So when I hear that, you know, because it's in the law. Right there. Right? See, right there, you have to distinguish, you know, what law. Because the law, there's no, wait a second. Because you're talking about, right, the policies or the procedures or the behavioral control system that is established by the United States government. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're talking about. So it cannot be the law. If I went to another place, another country or whatever, right? I can't say, if I went to Russia, I can't say, well, it's the law, you know, and then talk about what's going on here. You know what I'm saying? Wait a second, I'll be a fool. See? Because law, right, is anything. You know, anything that's set up, any control policy, any situation, anything that you know, right, like in my home right here, right, you know, I have my things set in certain places where I like them to be. So here I invite someone in, okay? Now, You know, see, you tell them, you know, hey, this is like this is my, don't sit in my seat. So I have a seat that's mine, okay, and that's the law. Because see, the law just means things that are laid down, right? Things that you are instructed to do and not to do. See, things that it's like they tell you, don't walk on the grass. These are laws. These are policies. They control in different things. So like, don't sit in my seat. No, that's my cup. You know what I'm saying? This is my special cup. You know what I'm saying? This is, don't touch my cup. That's law. That's law. See? Because law, it just means things that were laid down, instructions, behavioral patterns, ideas. Well, this is mine, that's mine, don't touch it, that's yours over there. See? So, so the United States government policies is not the law. Black Law's Dictionary, right? See, this is not the law, okay? This is a law. This is a law. You know what I'm saying? It is not the law. It's a law. Now, again, the law of whom? See, when you say the law, right, you have to acknowledge the people. Who? Whom? What organization? What group? See? Who? What? I mean, who? Whom? You know what I'm saying? What group? What family? Whatever. What people are these conditions, these policies, these instructions, these control orders? See? Are they coming from? Who are they being put upon? Who are they originally for? See? Because if you have not answered those questions, see, if you have not completed that thought, that idea, if all you have done was who, what, and you didn't finish it, see, and answered it, then you're gonna always be in trouble. You cannot, make your way around things and these people. You cannot get out of this mess that you're in. See, that's why. What? See, what's they doing? What are they doing now? President Biden, and they saying him and Donald Trump, they're talking about being above the law and what have you. Well, the law applies to everybody, and what have you. What makes him think, or what makes this person think that he can do this, and I'm saying, and do that? What makes them think? See, listen to the wording. I'm saying, because the law don't apply to them. These particular laws don't apply to them. They're not for them. They wrote them. They established them, not for themselves. I'm saying, they're for other peoples. See? Now you got who? What people? So you got to work on that shit like that. But this is how we overcome this stuff. What you mean? The law. What? So you know, they go and read the etymology online, and they look up the word. They look up the word native, but they don't look up the whole. They don't look up the noun or the adjective or the verb. They go straight to a particular place, one little piece where it says, "Oh, native means people born in bondage." And I'm like, isn't that something? Because when I went to that same website, right, and I'm like, damn, before you can even get to that one sentence, there's a whole other breakdown. I mean, there's a whole breakdown of the word native. I mean, and then you have to think, wow, you know, it's obvious that they didn't read that whole thing, but isn't it something how they were able to find that particular little sentence right there? You know, they bypass everything, but then it's happened to come upon, right, this particular sentence that says people born in bondage. So right there it tells you that someone pointed that out to them. They didn't get there on their own. Someone pointed that out to them and told them that, hey, this is what native means, okay? And it's in the so-called white man's law. Let me put it like that so I can give you a clear understanding of what's really going on. See? This is what the white man is saying, right? This is the way of the white man. See? That's what they saying. When they say the law, see? Whose law? Who are you talking about? So we got all these different terminologies, even though white man ain't correct, but that's what they're thinking. Just to make it clear for you, this is what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? This is the white man's law. This is the way of our oppressors. This is the way of the people that call it colonialism. This way the people. This is, you know, you know what I'm saying? You know, this is the rock that landed on us. Like Malcolm said, and, the rock didn't land on Plymouth, it landed on us. This is the rock. You know what I'm saying? So this is, see, understand what they're saying. See, this is the importance of knowing how to utilize who. Who are you talking about? What are some of these, sayings and descriptions? Oh, the white man. Oh, white man is synonymous with the law. White man, the law is synonymous with the United States government's policies, rules, and regulations. The law, the white man, the rules and regulations and policies of the United States government is synonymous with the people who took your land. As being, as so-called African Americans. The Americas is your land. Now, so who got these people, right? The Native American Indians, running around with this nonsense, right? Talking about, you gotta respect. Yeah, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna become a lawyer. I'm gonna master these laws. Because master, right? Master promised me. See, Master promised me, hey, you know what I'm saying? If I keep his rules, if I obey him, right? Master laid down, right, different policies and rules and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And if I obey Master's house, you know what I'm saying? Master said he's gonna take care of me. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, Master gave me his book, and in Master's book, he said, that was it Indian? No, entitled? No, was it not entitlement? What's the term look for? When you else in here again? Um, and yeah, so what's it? When you hold up, when you keep the land, and anyway, I hate when I lose it. Yeah, but you know, trust. Yeah, trust, right? Land trust. So Master says in his book, right? The wording is, that the land, right? This land that he set aside in trust. And he said, yeah. He says that he has this land set aside for us, and that these Indians, that we agreed on it. Okay, it says that the Indian, you guys signed off on it. Indian, you so-called black folk, you so-called the true people of these lands, right? You signed off on this, right? You said, hey, okay, master, I can't take care of land myself. You know what I'm saying? Even though I've been here for billions of years, and you know what I'm saying? Even though my forefathers taught you how to farm and grow food here, I can't take care of the land. I can't do it. So, but master, I'm going to put it in your trust, okay? And I'm going to let you hold it for me, if I can't take care of it myself. What kind of nonsense is that shit? That's what they say in the law, in their law. That's what they say in their law. Hey, we're gonna, put the land in our trusts for you, and we're gonna take care of it for you. Really, yeah. You ain't gotta tell me how that one worked out. The same people. You know what I'm saying? The same people that say, let me take care of the land for you. You know what I'm saying? What they got? What they call it? The Dow Rolls, whatever. $5 Indians. You know what I'm saying? Hey, brother, come here. Yeah. I'll give you some money. I'll give you $5 if you sign my name on this thing and make me an Indian. Make me an Indian on this paper right here, and I'll give you some money on the side. Hey, I'll take care of you. You know what I'm saying? See? That shit worked out. That trust fund, the trust, that shit worked out, right? Come on now. Really? You want me, wait a second. You telling me, and you telling all these Native American Indians, the people that own the land, the people that the land belongs to, you trying to tell me, right, to trust these people, right, that I cannot find one agreement that they have ever kept with any damn body on this planet. These British people, right? You know what I'm saying? These Europeans call themselves Americans. This United States government. What? You, So you want me to trust these people? And then coming back now into today, 60s and 70s, whatever. You got, that's the Martin Luther King era. We marching. Oh, we still do that shit today. Marching, protesting. Busting out the soles of our feet with corns and shit. All that. That's a lot of damn walking. I'm like, damn this shit. That's a lot of damn walking for nothing. Cause you doing all this walking and marching to go beg, right? These people. I'm saying these same damn people that never kept a promise. Oh, Mr. Pink Man, Mr. United States government, Mr. Law, you promised. You wrote it down. Don't you remember? You wrote it down in your books, right? You wrote it down. You know, that you were going to take care of us, and you were going to give us our land back, and you were going to stop killing us, and because you said that we equal to you, Master. You said we equal to you, but damn, Master, why are you killing us still? Why? You know what I'm saying? What's going on here, Master? What? He lied to your ass. That's what it is. And he is still lying to your ass. Look, you trying to tell me and convince me to continue that nonsense. Trust the white man. Trust the United States government. Trust their laws. Trust their policies. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? No. You know what I'm saying? They're going, you know. What? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Listen, anybody, your own people or whomever, anybody that tells you, right, to learn the pink man's laws or the laws of the United States government for the purpose of your salvation, okay? Oh, we got to, work with them. We got the, only way you're going to get your land. You want land? You want your land back? You got to work with them. You got to, you got to go through their court system, work with them, and anybody that tells you that nonsense, you need to shoot them. You need to get rid of them or get away from them. These people they're not aware of what they're talking about. I don't care what they are, who they say they are, or what title they have. Anybody that tells you that you need to go through the United States government's law system to get what you need, they are crazy. Because all you got to do is think back and ask yourself, has that shit ever worked? You know what I'm saying? Has these people ever given, and then, why? If this is all mine anyway, why would I have to go through the people that are taking it and holding it for? This shit don't make no sense. Right? This doesn't make any sense. Right? And then, because then some of you might argue is, but we're making progress. What? That is that damn crazy talking shit that you've been programmed with again. That we shall overcome shit. That's the same thing, the same thinking. Well, we're making progress. Things are changing. All you're doing is singing, we shall overcome one day. We shall overcome one day. And that day never gets here. That's that damn Jesus Christ nonsense coming back one day. The shit is a lie. It's a program. They got you thinking this way, right, to give you that hope. You know what I'm saying? But they're not going to give you your shit back. They're not going to give it to you. What you mean? Well, I'm gonna go up in here, and one day we're gonna organize. We're gonna go up there, and we're gonna deal with them based on their laws. Really? Can you see how mad that's madness? And then I've heard some of these people that call themselves, they are Native American Indians. They are, but they because they have knowledge of the pink man's laws, right? They kind of put themselves up as some type of an authority, over the rest of us. So I heard some of these people say, look at these people. You cannot establish and call yourself a nation or a certain type of indigenous organization. They're basically what they're saying is that you cannot just come up because you got a little group or something, right? You organize yourself in a group They're saying you cannot come up and say, "Oh, we are the indigenous organization of the Americas," whatever, whatever term. I'm saying, so you can't do that. You got to go through the white man's system. You got to use his terms. You got to use his terminology. You know what I'm saying? Because he won't accept you. What the fuck did you just say? What? What are you telling me? I got to get him to accept me? What kind of shit is that? This is like, and know what it does in my brain? It's like 60s and 70s over and over again. All I hear, all I see, 60s and 70s. I'm saying, well, yeah, we want to be treated equal. We want the white man to love us. Why you don't love me, Mr. White Man? Shit. This shit just hurts my bones. When I hear this nonsense, it just hurts my bones. It hurts so bad. Because that's what the language, that's all they saying. You got to, you got to, and then I'm looking. I said, wait a second. I mean, every people that have gained some type of authority or power on this planet, right? They didn't do it by asking another people's permission or doing it another people's way. They did it by getting out of their way. These same people that you telling me that I must get approval from, they didn't do it that way. You know what I'm saying? They can't, you know what I'm saying? They left England, right? And they said, hey, we got to do our own damn thing. I'm saying, they created their own language, right? Modern English. They created their own law system, separate from England over there. They came over here and did separate, and every people on this planet, matter of fact, everything in nature does this shit. Even go to look at the animals, go look at the lions, right? A lion, you got a lion, this right, and that one lion, male lion has a baby with this one, and they go up and they set up their own different tribes, or what do they call them, tribes or whatever they call them, different families. They go set up this different, they set up different their own group, tribe, pride, their own pride. They set up their own different groups like that. You don't need permission from nobody to organize yourselves and to call yourself whatever. You know what I'm saying? This was, I mean, you look at the Mormons. The Mormons are the people that put out there about some Africa and Israel, the Bible, and Egypt and stuff being here in the Americas. This crap came from them. Well, look at the Mormons, right? Here you got some Europeans, right, coming, right, got their organization, like what they call religion, whatever. It's still an organization, a group of people organized, right? They got different skill sets. They got farmers and lawyers, doctors, whatever. So they got the act together where they can, have different social things where they can be a people. Because you need to have all those different skills. You need carpenters, electricians, plumbers, gardeners, doctors, lawyers. You need all these different skill sets, right, to make up and to maintain a strong organization. You need all these different skill sets to do all that stuff like that. So they came, went down to Utah, right, and built themselves up. Okay? And then they went and demanded, from the United States government to make their organization a state. See? The Moors. Those Moors down there, they made Utah a state. So think about the power that they had. Because power comes from a strong organization, having all those, those basic skill sets. But then what really makes it strong is when you get those, so you got doctors, right? Well, now you got to have nurses. You got doctors. Now you got to have dentists and surgeons and all these different types of doctors. See, so that's what makes it strong. You get that basic, right, and then you get the details, and you make it so strong that way. See, and that's what they did. I mean, everyone does that. I mean, you look at all the Godfather movies, which they're movies, but that's the way it's done. Look, what's the movie? Gangsters of New York. This is a true story. This is the way they did shit. This is the way they organized themselves. The mafia, the Godfather. This is how you do it. You don't need nobody's permission. You know what I'm saying? No one does that. That's the whole purpose of establishing your own. It means that you don't have to depend on nobody else. So, if someone is telling you like this to have yours, you have to go through some other people, then understand it ain't gonna work for you, because they are going to regulate you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You can't do it. You can't do it in someone else's house. So anyway, yeah. So understand again, all of this the whole conversation here today. It is really it's all about understanding that the basic form of thinking, right? You must know, right, the 5 W's. You must understand. You must be able to utilize who, what, when, where, and why. Okay? So, let me go. So again, as always, this is our true history, language, and culture.